Hey, what's up guys? I've got some gaming news for you guys today. Now, the first thing is actually something that's quite sad. That's actually pretty similar to something I recently talked about, and that is that Tom Clancy has actually died recently, and you probably have heard of the name on a lot of video games such as the Rainbow Six series or the Splinter Cell series. And it really sucks to see this, and I'm sure a lot of you guys probably don't play those games so much because they're not that mainstream compared to other games, but I still think that we should at least respect the death. And the reason is because those types of video games, when it comes to them, they used to be more common in the early 2000s, late 1990s, and they have really started dying out, just like a lot of genres throughout the years have just completely died off. And some of them, for the most part, only had two companies going back and forth, and that's it, really. And it really just sucks seeing a guy like him that's made 26 books, made a few movies, and a lot of video games, die within this industry and everything, and seeing, that he's one of the few people that really tries his best to get content out there that fits those people that really love that kind of content. And because there's so very few other companies that make that kind of stuff, especially in the gaming world, it really sucks. And I guess you could say it makes his life more valuable in that way, because when it comes to a video game, if there's not that many video games like that, it makes you consider that game more valuable because there's not that many games like it. And it still sucks for any Tom Clancy's fan that loves the games, whether or not you like the newest game that they recently came out with. I really hope these games really don't go away and this doesn't affect it completely, and they could keep on making these games. And not only that, but the other thing I hope is that they don't put Tom Clancy's name on any more of the games. And the reason I say that is because he's not going to be making any of the new games. So why do it? And I don't want them to use it just as a big marketing term or abuse it or anything, because that would be disrespectful for him and his death and everything. And I'm sure, some people were like, well, you could trust that name, but at the same time, I've seen this throughout history where companies have done that kind of stuff, and then it gets abused, and then some people are blaming, that name, like, oh, I should have, known it was a crappy game when I saw Tom Clancy's on the name or something like that. And I don't want to see something like that happen. And again, it would be disrespectful for him and his death and everything, and we don't want to see any more of this kind of stuff. But as long as these games keep on going and everything, then everything should be fine. Now, for those of you that watched my video recently, you'll notice that I did make a video talking about everything about the Steam announcements that they recently announced. All three of them, I put them together, I explained to you guys and give you guys a really good idea of how everything goes together and how they did certain things in a way that will be beneficial and that you may or may not like. And I guess you could say I give you guys a really great big idea of everything instead of just, giving you the basics, not explaining to you how it goes together or why you should really care or anything. But, one of the things that people were really hoping for when they heard about the three announcements coming from Steam was for a video game. Because there's a lot of video games people want to see from Valve, whether it's Left 4 Dead 3, Portal 3, or Half-Life 3. So there's a lot of 3 games, but people have been really wanting to see a new game for a long time, and people are just wanting to just see one game, or just to hear about it, see a trailer, or just to know that it's under the works, and people are just begging for it. It's been so many years and everything. But it looks like Half-Life 3 might be the game that they're currently working on, and the reason I say that is because Half-Life 3 has been put in for trademarking, and that is a huge sign that it might be coming out pretty soon, or they might start talking about it, or it's under the works, or they might be very soon. So this is a very good, exciting. Now, you can take this as what it is, or just another rumor, or however you want, but this usually is an indicator, and lots of times it's actually proven to be true. But, the other thing I noticed is that when they did the 3 announcements, now for those that didn't see my video about that, make sure you go watch that, but one of the things I talked about was, the controller and everything. Now, one of the things I forgot to mention is that on the controller, when they showed it off, they showed it through an example, through the controls and everything, through an example of Half-Life 2. So they showed you how you would be playing Half-Life 2 on that controller and everything. So that to me is an indication that, okay, if they're looking at the controls of Half-Life 2 and trying to get it work best with that controller and using that as a really good example and everything, that's a sign that they're looking for a way to make improvements and make changes that can make the controls of the game much more seamless and better, especially for the new Steam machines or Steambox, whatever you want to call it, with the new controls and everything. And that to me is a sign like, they're looking to make improvements. No better way to make changes and improvements on the controls than to apply it to a new game, such as Half-Life 3. Now, this may be me just going too much into it. No better time than right now to release a game like Half-Life 3, or at least start talking about it and showing it to us and everything, especially with the Steambox and everything that's going on. And to give, I guess you could say, is that one game that is, the best way to experience it is on the Steambox, or something like that. And that is very really exciting. And If we could start hearing about it more soon, that would be really awesome. I'm sure that would make a lot of people really happy, and no better way to show off the new machine than with Half-Life 3. Now, the last thing I'm going to talk about something I'm going to get a lot of flack and a lot of hate for, and that is about Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, a lot of people are really upset that it hasn't came out on PC yet, at least not around the same time of the Xbox 360 and PS3, and some people actually don't think it ever will come on PC, and there are some fanboys that went as far as enough to make a petition to make sure it never does come on PC, which is fully mature, there's no excuse around it. But the thing is that there's a few things that people really haven't looked at as far as the big picture and everything. Now, most of the time they've been working on this game, they've been working on it for the current gen consoles. And I understand that on Grand Theft Auto 4 when it came out within a few months later on the PC as it did on the Xbox 360 and PS3. But now that we know about the next-gen consoles, why would they release it on the PC at the same time of the current-gen consoles and not the next-gen consoles, since it is going to have the best optimized graphics and everything? And the other thing is that the next-gen consoles are going to be PC-based, so it makes more sense to go ahead and release it on PC around the same time as the next-gen consoles, which are, again, going to be PC-based. And maybe for all we know, they're doing this just so then they could do everything in a timely manner. Get it as working as possible on the current gen consoles, release it as soon as possible, as soon as it's playable as possible, you know, not any major problems, and then try to take all the feedback, figure out what things they need to fix about the game, what improvements they need to make and everything, so that way when they release it on the next gen consoles and on the PC, they'll know what to do better in. And plus, they're going to be designed in very similar ways because they are going to be all three PC based systems, and because of that, it's a lot easier to get those port working, and they could concentrate on certain aspects of it to make it even better. Well, anyways, that's pretty much it for today, guys. And tell me, guys, what you think. Do you even care that Tom Clancy died? And do you respect him for who he was and how important he was a part of that community and all that he did? And also, do you, Tom Clancy's fans, actually think they're going to abuse his name as a marketing term? Or do you think they're going to keep on going forward and keep on making games? Or do you think it's actually going to die out like a lot of other genres? And also, for Half-Life 3, do you think it is going to be Half-Life 3? Do you think it's going to be coming out very soon? Or do you think it's going to be another game? Or do you think this is just another teaser or rumor of some sort? And also, if it is going to be Half-Life 3, do you think it's going to be the main center game for the Steam box that they're going to try to make the best port as possible so then they can make it work best with it so it could be that best first-hand experience, or at least to be able to really test how well the Steam box performs and how you're able to play games on it and everything like that? And for Grand Theft Auto 5, do you guys think it's going to come on PC? Are you really excited for it and everything like that? And what do you guys think about the petition that those people started? Why do you think they actually did it? Let me guys know what you think in the comment section below. But anyways, guys, that's pretty much it for today, guys. Hope you guys have an awesome weekend, and I will see you guys in the next video.